Le but c'est de pas perdre trop de temps non plus, mais voilà, si j'en perds c'est aussi normal, devant c'est des champions aussi.
Lenny Martinez, the youngest wearer of a Grand Tour jersey, but recognising the power of La Vuelta contenders. A taste of the intriguing battle between Remco Evenepoel and Jumbo-Visma. Remco did admit that he didn't even know the win was on the cards, but the Belgian champion did make sure Jumbo-Visma didn't drop it.
But we also talked about that we could go on the last climb, so but there Remco was super strong. I think for us it was almost more about following than attacking.
It's easy, I just didn't know we were fighting with a victory. I thought there was a group in front or a few guys. I was not very surprised by Rogic's sprint because it wasn't really fast, but it's very frustrating because I felt very good.
Sepp Kuss taking centre stage, a first leader's jersey for the American.
Oh, really nice experience. I saw my wife before the stage and she said she didn't even recognize me with all these new colors.
Jumbo-Visma might decide to keep the pressure on Evenepoel on a long and winding stage. The weather could potentially play a big part in proceedings.
It's going to be a nervous stage and it might take a while for the breakaway to go, and the longer it takes, sometimes the better riders that can be in it. So if someone dangerous is there, then we might have to chase. But normally I think it's a good day for the break.
Stage 9 and the day before the rest day. Only 2 classified climbs compared to Saturday's 5, but a challenging uphill finish. The weather could also play its part with reports of strong cross tailwinds blowing in the early parts. A lot of movement on the road after 100 kilometres of mostly flat terrain. Despite the fractured groups and chaotic crosswinds, the peloton restored some order. Up the road though, a first for La Vuelta 2023, 8 escapades creating an 8-minute lead. Happy to have, in the break, Ruben Fernandez, the Cofidis rider, traversing through his native region.
Al final correr en casa siempre da muchísima más ilusión, ¿no? Al 100%.
¿Conoces esta meta inédita de la Vuelta?
Sí, la conozco porque el lunes antes de venir a la Vuelta estuvimos ahí visualizándola. Y es súper dura, la verdad.
Neither the local Mauritian nor the rest were GC threats, but hoping for stage glory. Not the first breaks for Leonard Kamna or Matteo Sobrero, but yet to earn a top 10 stage finish. Fractures in the peloton on a couple of kilometres lined with olive trees bending under the wind's pressure. White jersey Lenny Martinez and Wout Poels of Bahrain victorious, the only 2 from the GC top 10 who failed to join the front split.
4 groups from this helicopter shot as we now have a big race on our hands, and we've always said that the attention has to be 100% on a day like today. When the wind blows, it can play absolute chaos with the peloton. If you find yourself on the wrong side of a split as the echelons form, this could be you losing La Vuelta overall here.
The other consequence was to see the gap drop dramatically, reduced by half, 4 minutes behind the leaders with less than 70 kilometres to go. Yet the big drive and push from French teams saw a young star remain in the picture.
Job well done from Groupama FDG, Arkea Samsic and Total Energy. They've put Lenny Martinez, the rider who sits 3rd overall in the general classification, back into contention for the GC.
With 30 kilometres to go, looking good for a breakaway win. Jumbo-Visma not looking to upset them as they did Rui Costa yesterday. 5 minutes the gap. The weather was predicted to have a say. The conditions at the finish forcing the organisers to take GC times 50 metres before the 2K banner. As the leaders headed for the intermediate sprint, problems for Daniel Navarro of Burgos BH as well as John Baranetchea of Caja Rural able to recover as the gradients started to burn.
Leonard Kemner of Bora Hansgrohe, with 5 kilometers remaining, is going in pursuit of a stage victory here in La Vuelta.
The German kicking for stage success with only Matteo Sobrero able to follow. The Italian, though, 15 seconds to make up. João Almeida elected to make a move to try and claw back some seconds. The UAE leader followed by Bora Hansgrohe's Alexander Vlasov. A dynamic last 3 kilometers. Roglic on the attack to put further pressure on Remco Evenepoel, but at the head of the race, Kemner realising he was all alone and waltzing to victory.
He was a part of those 8 riders all the way to the Alta Caravaca de la Cruz, and Kemner of Bora Hansgrohe will become a part of that elusive club. Kemner, with his arms aloft, comes to the top of the climb. Kemner, a stage victor in the Giro d'Italia, the Tour de France, La Vuelta a España, and he becomes the 107th rider to take victories in all 3 Grand Tours.
Third time lucky for Kemner in a breakaway, the Bora Hansgrohe rider joining that precious group of competitors, just the 107th man to win a stage at each of the 3 Grand Tours. 9th overall at the Giro earlier this year, and now a stage win on La Vuelta. What a season it's been for the 26-year-old.
We had echelons in the beginning. I tried to make it through the echelons as good as possible without spending too much energy, because I already saw it after 15k when everything split. We come together at the climb again, and then I was in front when the group went and I could just join with having still a lot of my power in the tank. And then in the end it was really tricky because the climb is always going up and down, and it was hard to find the moment to drop the others, but I'm really happy that I could find it and that I take the win.
Kemner reached the Collado de la Cruz de Caravaca summit first, ahead of Sobrero and Aussie Chris Hamilton. Ruben Fernandez 6th on his home stage. Sepp Kuss remains in red. Roglic's late burst didn't garner anything, the same time posted as Remco Evenepoel. Caden Grove still in the points jersey. Emmanuel Gebre-Xavier picked up 39 points in the breakaway, the Ethiopian into the top 10. Eduardo Sepúlveda clings on to the polka dot jersey, the Argentine with just 1 point over Evenepoel. Lenny Martinez in white, but relieved to remain 3rd overall. Tomorrow the first rest day before Tuesday's individual time trial. Until then, a time to rest and reflect for all.